Okay, I'm here in my Piskel app, and it's www.piskelapp.com. And let's take a look at everything we see when we go there. First thing, you'll need to create an account. In the top right corner will be a place that you can create a new account. Use a username and a password that you're not going to forget. Okay, there's the name of our app, and there's what our interface is going to look like. We're going to come back to the Create a Sprite button in a second. So, we will get to see our animation in progress of our sprite as we're working. Once we're done, we can export to GIF or GIF, depending on how you want to pronounce it. But then that will allow us to import them into Game Maker. Your gallery is where all of the ones that you have made are saved, all of your Piskel sprites. It's open source if any of you are programmers and want to contribute. And there is an offline version that you can download and save to use on your computer when you don't have an internet access. So let's go ahead and click Create a Sprite. So I'm going to tell you what all of these buttons on the interface do. The first button is the pen tool. Above that is a row of buttons that allow you to choose the size of some of your tools. For example, the second one is a little bit bigger, the third one a little bit bigger, and the fourth one a little bit bigger than that. The pen tool just allows you to draw. The second one is the vertical mirror pen, and what happens is anything you draw on one side will be automatically mirrored on the other side, and that can be helpful if you're wanting to draw things that are perfectly symmetrical. The next tool we're going to look at is the paint bucket tool, which is a fill tool that allows you to fill in any areas with whatever color is selected. And this is at the bottom where you can click and select different colors. Okay. The next tool is the Paint All Pixels of the Same Color tool. So if I click on that tool, and let me choose a different color. Let me choose like a lighter color. Sure, why not? If I click this Paint All Pixels of the Same Color tool, and I click any black on my page, all of the squares that are black will be changed to that color. Let's turn them back. Okay, the next tool is the eraser tool, and it allows you to erase. And it is also affected by the pen size tool. So see, I can make a big eraser and erase things more quickly. Erase an eyeball. Okay, the next tool is the stroke tool, and what that does is it allows you to draw a straight line, and that is helpful if you need to make odd shapes, because sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out what's a straight line when you're going on a diagonal. The next tool is the rectangle tool. The rectangle tool is just what it sounds. It lets you draw rectangles, squares, any size and shape. If you want a perfect square, let's say that I've got this drawn and I want it to be a perfect square, but I can tell it's not, I can hold down the Shift and it will automatically constrain it to a perfect square no matter where I'm dragging it. The next tool is the circle tool, and it works just like the rectangle tool. I can make tall and skinny, I can make short and fat, or I can hold down the Shift and it will constrain it to a perfect circle. The next tool is the Move tool. So I have layers over on the right. Right now everything is all on one layer. If you hover over the Move tool, you can see what your options are as far as moving things. Right now, since everything's on one layer, if I click the Move tool and move it around, it's going to move everything. The next tool is the Shape Selection tool. I can select a particular shape, and then I can do things to it. Okay, for example, if I want to, while I'm moving my selection, I can hold down Shift and I can move the whole thing. And when I'm done, I just hit enter to deselect it. The rectangle selection tool allows me to select a rectangle area. And again, I can hold down the shift tool to move things around. I can hit Command C to copy. And then I can delete it. I can hold down Command, well, I deleted it, so we're going to stop there. You can do the Command C for copy and Command V for paste. So, and then you hold down Shift to move it. Okay, the lasso selection works just like the rectangular selection, but let's say, for example, that, let me redo this. Let's say that I had this shape selected, and I move it up here. Okay, let's say that I wanted to select this shape. I can't use the rectangle selection tool to get this whole shape without getting my square as well, and I don't want to move my square. So I can use the lasso selection tool to just select what I want. And then I can move it and not move my square. The lighten and darken tools just lighten and darken what you've got. The dithering tool allows you to skip every other square, which is handy if you're making shading or a checkerboard. And then the color picker tool allows you to choose a color. For example, let's say that I wanted more of this red over here. Let's say I want to fill this with this color red. I can use the color picker tool to go ahead and select it, then go to my paint bucket tool and fill that shape. There's also a palette over here with the colors that you've been using that you can select from. Okay, so over here is a preview. If I have more than one frame, and let's say there are changes, let's make this blue. So now you can see the animation at the top right here, and I can slow it down, or I can speed it up. Wow, that's flashy. This is my layers where I can work on separate layers just like in Photoshop. And then this is the transform tool, which allows me to flip my whole image, which comes in handy because we can make a character walking right, save it, then flip all the frames and save him walking left under a different file name. This rotates my layers. Okay. This clones the current layer to all frames. So if we were to do that and then hit the clone tool, it would copy them up to all frames. And you see that my red is gone because it copied this layer to all my frames. So be careful using that. And this lets you center your image. Okay, that's it for beginning. Next video, we will look at resizing, saving, and exporting our Piskel sprites.